to stand and say the pledge to allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Names. Oh, they're right here. Okay. We're going to hold off on public comment because I have a couple people that need to get out of here right away. So we're going to mix it up a little bit. And roll call. Sorry, we already did roll call. Roll call.
Village President Joey Boyton. Here. Trustee Jean Michaels. Here. Trustee Jessica Goldbreath. Here. Trustee Marty Boucher.
Present.
Trustee Stacey Snupp. Here. Trustee Josh Carlson. Here. Village Treasurer Katie Felker. Here. Public Works Employee Mike Woodbury. Here. Village Attorney Andrew Wilt.
Here.
Okay, and I just want to welcome everyone. It's nice to see a nice full room. Thanks for coming out on this cold night. The reason we're switching the agenda around a little bit is DeKalb Community Foundation was going to bring us we're going to do a picture with a check for our grant that we got for the Veterans Park. However, they had another commitment tonight, and they had to do that. So they're coming in March for sure. So I'm going to start with Melanie Berg, Flewellin Library, and go ahead and tell us all about the referendum.
Hi, I'm Melanie Berg from the Flewellin Memorial Library. I was here last month explaining to some of you about the referendum. At that time, we were only going to the one part of Lee. However, it was a couple of days later, we had our hearing, and one of your citizens came to court, asked the judge to expand the boundaries to include all of the Village of Lee. So now we are going to be Village of Shabana Township, and all of the Village of Lee if the referendum passes. By doing so, we're not asking for any additional funding. It's still the $90,000 that we originally had asked for. But what happens is, since that $90,000 is now spread across more property, if you will, the rate goes down. So it was going to be 0.1614. Now it's going to be 0.1525. I did bring some updated packets of information because some of this stuff is now outdated. Here he has some of them up there if you want to take a look at them.
Run if anyone wants it.
On the first page, it's just a map showing exactly what the new boundaries were going to be. On the second page, same thing, the tax rate and how to figure that out. You take your NTB, multiply it by 0.1525, move the decimal point over 2 spots. Like this one, for instance, is $41.12 per year. If you don't move that over, obviously it looks a lot different. The other thing I wanted to address, since last time I was here, in the packets, I had put a comparison of what each library in our area receives for tax dollars. The Flewellin Library is the absolute lowest. I also had on there the tax rate. Again, Flewellin Library, absolute lowest. And then one thing that I had added, people were asking, okay, so if the library closes, people have to go to Waterman Library and get their library card. Or can they just go to DeKalb Library and get a library card? No, you can't just go to DeKalb Library and get a card. It does not work that way. You will have to go to your closest library. So in that case, it could be Waterman, it could be Malta. So I did list all the out-of-district fees for all the libraries. Waterman just increased theirs. If we close and you want to go use the library, you will be paying $178 a year to go to Waterman Library. Malta is $214 a year. And I just recently, well, actually I talk to all the directors all the time for all the libraries, and they will be increasing theirs. However, I can't say or anything like that. It has not been voted on, but their $214 will be increasing. So that is the whole list of all the different areas. Now, what you can do, like at the Flewellin Library, if you get your card there and you want to use your card in DeKalb Library, you can do that. But you can't just be like, well, you know, I'm a Lee resident, I want a DeKalb Library card. You can't. You still have to go to your original, like, home library first. The other thing that I added to this which is actually really interesting. William FOIA'd the state library for all of our area libraries, and he did a chart comparison to see where the Shabana Library falls with every other library. And if you look at the graphs that he did, it's pretty interesting to see. Our little library is keeping up with all the other libraries. We're not falling below. I mean, we are right there with everybody else. So all the people that keep saying people don't use libraries anymore, they're obsolete, this and that. I mean, there's proof right there. And like I said, he got this information from the state library itself. Each library is mandated by the state. We have to submit reports every single year. And that is the information that he got. He also put together a chart stating the attendance year after year for the last 4 years for our little library. And again, we just continue to keep growing. It's one thing I can say, like, I'm actually pretty proud of, you know, we're a tiny little library, but we're keeping up with everybody else, even including DeKalb Library. And that is a huge library, and obviously all the people that they have, and per capita wise, we're doing just as good as they are. Our issue is the lack of funding. We're running, again, $32,000 a year. Try running a business on that. It's incredibly, incredibly difficult. Minimum wage has gone up. You got to figure minimum wage is $31,200 a year. You know, if we're running a library and that pays for everything, $32,000 a year. Imagine how unbelievably difficult that is to pay for, you know, insurance, utilities, everything. So I'm really, really hoping we get the community support on this because, again, if it does not pass, we will have to close. You know, if anybody has questions for me about it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people came up to me in the community about this with the letter of support. I had a lot of people, I had a couple people that were for it, but many people were not. And when I asked why, a lot of them said they just don't want to pay more taxes. And quite a few people are like me. We have a Kindle. We pay for the Kindle app. William had pointed out to me that you were researching and looking into about like the electronic checkout where you don't have.
You already have that.
But do you have to go in or can you do it all online?
You can do it right online.
So then we wouldn't have to, like a bunch of us then would cancel our Kindle app and then be able to use it that way?
Yes, and that was one of the things.
That would be cheaper than, and none of us realize that.
Right, and that's the big thing. So when I very first started, what, 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, I found out about this app and I was trying to promote it as much as I could. And because the big thing was like, Kindle, you're paying more than what even an out-of-district library card is anyways. And then I was looking at Audible subscriptions. I mean, it's just cheaper. Well, then the state switched from, or who we were using to do this was Access 360, and it switched to Boundless, which now there's like, it's a good thing that it was switched because it's a better platform. But while it was working out all the kinks, I personally was not promoting it a whole lot. Because then people were like, it's not working. And now that they have all the bugs worked out and it is working, I am going to start promoting that again.
Okay, because that would then change my vote for support now.
Okay.
Because I knew 4 people at Kindle apps in town and they were the people that didn't want to have to pay. And there were still additional people that don't, but that would then outweigh in my head the people that I've spoken to.
There is one thing I did forget to mention. There is a rumor going around that I just want to clarify real quick. People are concerned that Don Goncher, the village president over in Shabana, and that village board is who is running the library. That's not true. Don Goncher does not run the library, neither does the village trustees. I run the library, I run the day-to-day operations, and I report back to my board, who they are not village trustees whatsoever. So I just wanted to get that out there and make that very clear that it has, yes, we're a village library, but they don't run the library. I do.
I saw it.
Okay, you did see what I'm talking about. That I'm trying to combat all the misinformation out there because there's so much. So I keep telling people, just come ask. I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to yell. I'd rather tell everybody the accurate information than people, just assuming stuff that's not true.
else? Any other questions? Mel, thank you.
Thank you.
The next thing we want to do real quick though is I have a resolution here that I'm going to go ahead and read and take a vote because right after Mel's information session, she asked us if we would sign the resolution if we get the vote. So it's resolution 2025-0211. Resolution to support Flewellin Memorials Library's referendum to become a district library. Whereas Flewellin Memorial Library has served the village of Shabana Township, and Lee residents as a public library since 1943. And whereas public libraries serve as an essential year-round community gathering place offering not only books, services, resources, but also programs that foster education, inclusion, and engagement for residents of all ages. And whereas a referendum to support the operations of Flewellin Memorial Library as a district library, expanding the boundaries of Flewellin Memorial Library to the Township of Shabana, Illinois, as well as the entirety of the Village of Lee, Illinois, is planned for April 1st, 2025. Therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Lee Board of Trustees pledges its support for Flewellin Memorial Library's referendum to become a district library and encourages all residents to engage in the library's development process and up-and-coming referendum. Approved this day of February 2025. May I have a motion?
I make a motion to support.
Okay. Second. Roll call, please.
Josh,
Yes.
Jean? Yeah. Jessica?
Yes.
Stacey?
Yes.
Margie?
Motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Mel. You do need to leave.
Yeah. You gotta go. Thank
We
you.
have another one that needs to leave. It's kind of a surprise for all of us who have been around for a while. We had someone flying in today from Colorado, and I see her back there, Linda Korth and her daughter Lori. And I just want to make mention that besides the Gordy Korth Park, the water tower that our well and water tower sitting, the land was donated by the Korth family also. Linda, do you want to have anything to say about? I know you would like to have a slight change in the name of the park.
Listen, there's PS, okay? You started it. I heard, I don't know. So that's what not really brings me here, but got my little antenna going. I started what?
I was the one that asked for it in writing. That's all I said was in writing.
No, I don't think that was.
Oh, that was like,
I just heard that, this was in the mix somewhere. That's when the park was built. No. My husband and I worked for, I don't know how many years, every Sunday night, we did bingo to raise money for this park. For 40 years, I worked in some capacity for this village. We were both members of the Lee Volunteer Fire Department, certified as EMTs. I mean, there's plenty. We can do plenty of things here if you like. We taught first responders to the Lee Volunteer Fire Department. It was an accredited class through Rocky College. Gordy used to work for the Village of Lee, street galleries, whatever. We were both active in the Lee Community Club. Like Carrie said, Lori donated the land for the water tower, whether you agree with it or not. It's there for free. So I'm just here to say that you guys do what you think you need to do, but that's what I have to say.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to just say one thing. I know that you would like to have the park changed to Korth Memorial Park or Korth Park. And with the contingency that we go ahead and if this does happen, the change does happen, that we would have this name only adopted the day that the new park is open, because we don't want to mess up the paperwork from the
brand.
However, I'm going to ask for a motion.
I mean, I don't know why this is coming up after 20 years. It's been gone for 20 years.
Well, you had asked for Korth, just to have Korth Memorial or Korth Park.
Well, no, it's not an issue.
I think that's where
I was honestly confused as to what spawns the request to change.
I just saw, somebody said he was a jerk, I think that was William, on Lee Happenings. Doesn't matter if he was a jerk or not. You go over to Vietnam twice and see if you're not crabby.
And Linda.
Yeah, no, I was just curious as to what.
I just saw it on,
It's not
Yeah.
representative of the.
and it just kind of perked my interest as to why are they doing this after 20 years?
Well, that triggered the trip too, so. Can I have a motion that at the point of when the park changes into, is completed with the OSLAD grant, that we change the name from Gordy Korth Park to Korth Memorial Park or Korth Park?
I like Korth Memorial Park.
I do too. Pardon? Yeah, it's not mine. Yeah, it's under old business.
Go with Korth.
Yeah.
That's all I just say.
I'll make that one.
Do we have to do it all in favor? Or do we vote call, please?
To name it Korth Memorial.
Korth Memorial.
Linda, thank you for making the trip
Because all the paperwork for the.
and for everything you did for the village. I'm glad to see you. Well, you are acknowledged, you appreciate it. Okay, roll call, did we do roll call?
Yes.
Jessica? Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Margie?
I'm abstaining since I had nothing to do with whatever she said. I don't know where she got it. I don't think you can abstain. I didn't abstain.
Didn't she abstain?
I think she can, I think she can.
And Josh?
Yeah.
Okay, pass, motion
All right,
passed.
Linda, congratulations on Korth Memorial Park.
Well, thank you.
We'll change, the name will be changed after the OSLAD grant is completed.
Do you want your
Oh,
pictures?
you can put them in the memorial or whatever, send
We
them
can
in
put it
the
in
cover,
the,
whatever.
put them in that,
Why don't you give it to me and then I can put them in as one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna, I did ceiling wall that's going in the time capsule, not that you're not doing a great job welding it.
We don't want those in the time capsule.
Oh, I think what
it's not really here. You can go on the time.
No. People can see them now, and not 40 years from now.
Well, let's get one of those,
We could put them in a frame.
like a frame like that.
Yeah.
Can we do that? Can we hang them in here?
I think I have more pictures, not of when they originally was out, but when we cleaned it up a few times.
Yeah.
even though they're long, I mean, like.
When I got repainted and stuff too.
Oh, I guarantee you. she'll have one bump.
Yeah.
She still wants to go in.
That's pretty cool. All right, all right, but let's move on. I think now we can do public comment because we got our two guests that need to leave. Ryan Roble.
Well, sadly, this will probably be my last board meeting, so don't think I'm so upset because I will be moving. But obviously, everyone knows my issues with the water bill that kept going on months after months after months, just trying to get what the rates were. How was it billed? I mean, just, it went on for months. In that time, we had a lot of issues. I don't know if anyone is aware, but you guys do have an OMA violation that was found against you guys. It was sent to me Saturday.
We are aware of that, and it's the
That's
work
fine.
attorney
The rest-
speaks.
The reason that we have that is there's no transparency or communications between this board. I have rates that were sent to me from Katie, thank you, that Terry sent me, and I got an email, oh, that's the wrong rate. And then, I mean, it went on for like 6 months that nobody even knew what the rates were. In that time, you guys got an OAM violation for that, and it should have never happened. You got 2 attorneys present there, should have objected to it, should have never went into closed session, but you did. Besides that, that's done. I know there's a lot of changes that are coming up after me leaving and moving out of here. You need to have a new board that's getting new members that are getting elected, a new mayor, new president. I just say for the benefit of these people that are residents and everyone else, communicate, have transparency. I mean, I ask one person one thing, and as a collective board, everybody should know the same answer. What's going on with the water tower? I don't know. Well, you don't know. I mean, nobody knows. You know, I'm not here to harp on anybody. We're a small community, 310 people. We're not in Naperville. I mean, I see Mike every day. I wave to him in the school bus. I see Stacey driving. Everybody, you wave. We should be able to communicate. I just don't see any transparency on the board. No communications about anything from anybody. Everyone understands that people are in charge of water and this and streets and sanitation, and being the president and the mayor and everything, but it doesn't seem like there's a collective, like, communications. I just don't see it. There are a lot of other people, and I'm just hoping that with some changes that come, that you guys can work together. I mean, the time that was spent with, going back and forth with the lawyers, it's just, it didn't have to go to that. You know what I mean? With the back and forth. We're still sitting there talking about Margie talking to our lawyers. It's like, you guys are collective, you guys are a group. Work together as a group, as a board, as everything else. If one person knows something, the whole board should know it. I mean, along with the groups and the employees and everything. That's all that I ask. Like I said, it's sad that it had to go, to go and you guys get the violations. I can't speak on behalf of what's coming next. My apologies on behalf of you, Don, for the FOIA request. There'll be a lot more coming. So my apologies for that. So I know it's sucks, but it's part of being in that position. And again, I apologize for that. But like I said, just hopefully you guys can see with new change with the board members coming in and out. Again, board members that are leaving, they're still part of the community, and I hope that they're still part of whoever the new board members are, whoever the new mayor is, the new president, whatever, that collectively that you guys work together. I mean, it's sad. I own a couple businesses, and to be honest with you, I will never bring it to Lee. Never. I just brought my business from Naperville to Tennessee. I would have never, ever in my life bring it to Lee. Staffing. I mean, I wanted to buy the bar. Thank God I did it, to be honest with you, because I probably couldn't deal with all of the red tape, everything that goes on in here with you guys with regards to that. So again, I hope for change. I hope that things do get better. I just want to be transparent as I was from the first day that I asked, how does my water bill get billed? How is it here? How is it compared to others? Sadly, compared to other buildings in the city, there's not one common thing. There's not one common thing that says my building is the same as Cass's building, as to the building that William lives into. There's not one common thing. There's no way that the bills add up, and hopefully that moving forward, that there's some clarity. The website's great. I know the things have been updated. I finally, as of last month, got the right water rate. We can kind of get a feel for that. Thank you. I know it takes time. I know Terry mentioned last time, hey, we're all part-time. I get it. I understand that. But it just simply, I shouldn't have to just work, go out to one person. I was hoping that if I was working with somebody and the board or asked somebody, that they would all have the same answer. Nobody does. So, it's time, and like I said, this is good. That's all I ask. So, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
William?
I just want to, first of all, set the record straight a little bit. At no point have I made any sort of comments about Gordy Korth's character. I have privately asked people in the past, like, oh, I've heard this, that, or the other things, but I have not said anything about his character at all. That was, I believe, Michelle Lynn on Facebook. Few other things. Gene Michaels, I appreciate you being receptive to feedback concerning the chickens ordinance. I think it's really important for our officials to keep an open dialogue like that. It allows for much more productivity than situations where people would try and shut down any interaction from the community, closing comments, deleting official village Facebook posts, and so on. And after the wildfires in California, you might say that the price of eggs is even higher than the price of tea in China. So I'd encourage the board to approve and move forward with allowing residents to own chickens in an agricultural community such as Lee. Melanie already covered some of the remarks I had as well about the library. I was in full agreement with you that that should cover the west half as well, and so I went to the library's to court hearing for that and asked the judge to order that the boundaries get changed, and he did. One particular way in which I hope the new district will now be able to serve all of our village is by possibly taking on events that would otherwise unnecessarily inconvenience the fire department here. I'm sure the director would be happy to entertain things like a winter movie night so that nobody is trying to ask the fire chief to move trucks out into the freezing cold. And she also mentioned everybody's property taxes are gonna be a couple bucks lower than was originally planned. Lastly, a couple of things on the Open Meetings Act. As I understand it, Article 14 of the Criminal Code of 2012 basically says that surreptitiously recording or using an electronic device to eavesdrop is a felony, unless there is no reasonable expectation of privacy, for example, an open meeting. Boehne also protects the right to record open meetings, but not for the public to record closed meetings where there is a reasonable expectation of privacy. However, Boehne does not make any specifics about what I need to do or not do with any particular equipment. If I wanted to leave my phones in here, there is nothing to say I can't. I always remove them anyways, and to minimize disruption to the meeting, I don't bother packing up everything else right away. My point is, if y'all are concerned about anything I am leaving in here, and you feel like moving it to make yourself feel better, I don't care. As long as you don't break anything. But for what it's worth, I promise you I am not going to commit any felonies with whatever tripods, battery packs, unplugged microphones, etc. I leave on you. Finally, Terry, the night this board unlawfully entered an executive session so that y'all could talk about Ryan's water bill, I believe that both the now Honorable Kroll and his replacement, Attorney Wilt, were both there and have since had complaints with the ARDC lodged against them. Their job is not to be lapdogs for you, but to protect the village from committing those sorts of offenses, and they have failed spectacularly to do so. I ask that you solicit the termination of the village's contract with Hess, Arnquist, and Wilt LLC, which is especially timely as one of the possible people that I believe some of the board are considering to replace him has joined us here tonight. I also ask that the board immediately release the closed session recording in minutes from Ryan's meeting. Thank you.
Reports of the village employees and officers, Curtis Clerk.
Hey, folks, it's been a couple of months since I've seen you. Hope the written reports have been okay.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I wanted to give this one to you tonight. There's been a lot of activity, as you've probably been seeing. The update on the Division A and Division B, the well, the tower, those contracts. I'm going to run just through some bullet points. The underground piping is in place from the well house to the well. The well house mechanical is complete as far as I can take it before the tower is completed. Okay, not to make a connection. The tower foundation is complete and backfilled. Concrete strength tests have passed. They met spec on that. The last update we have on the tower itself is delivered in March. Okay, that's the last thing we've got on that. March is coming very quick. Yeah, it's only a couple of weeks ago. Glad to hear that. The well's been drilled, casing's installed, and thank you everybody for your patience while they were drilling that well overnight. Took, 3, 4 nights, I think it was. 3 nights or 4 nights? 4 nights.
Friday.
To drill it, get the casing installed, and we didn't have to worry about any collapses or anything like that. So thank you for your patience, appreciate that. Tomorrow, we're gonna start pumping that and doing some sampling on the well. So really good activity. And the well house, mechanical, and the electrical contractors both will be finishing up their work in the well house after the well house, or after the tower is installed. Okay. So, next thing, one thing that I need to make sure everybody's aware of, during the tower foundation excavation, we had a couple of guys on site that smelled trouble in the excavated material. Okay. That raised a red flag to us. First thing we did, we pulled up the test well, water sampling reports, just to make sure there wasn't a chance for any contamination in the well itself. All of those samples were clean. The next thing that we did was want to find out what the material was and then close that over. It was a patrol, it felt like kind of a patrolling thing. So reached out to a brownfield engineering firm, brownfield geotechnical. They came, took tests, sent them off to a test lab, they came back. They weren't clean, but everything was well below any IEPA standards, okay? They went ahead and continued the research and where could the material come from. There's different locations around town, but couldn't track it to that, okay? But we did find out from their, based on their report, is the site is stable. The material is clean enough to leave it in place, but anything that's excess needs to go to the landfill. Okay, any excess dirt that is generated from the site will need to go to the landfill. It's okay to leave it in place. It's fine. It's, it's lower than the IEPA levels. They said that the site is stable. There's no threat of contamination of it. Okay. So that's all good news. Okay. Bad news is it's going to be an extra for the contractor to haul it to the landfill. Okay. So we're working on that right now. We think that change order is going to be about $30,000 for the contractor, for our time, for paying fees that go to the landfill, because the landfill charges by the ton. That's what you're looking at there. Okay. We have a $65,000 contingency in the loan agreement. So basically, we draw a portion of that with this change order. Okay. So we already had something built in to the IEPA loan agreement just for situations that came up that were unknown. Okay.
Does it have to go to a particular landfill?
They can go to Rochelle, closest one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Did you send us a report of the results of the lab test?
I'm gonna send it to you. I just got it from the.
Can you make sure everybody gets it?
Let me send it to the clerk.
Great, can you make sure you send it to the board members?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So, so that's the one surprise that came up during all that activity. And I've always said for decades, when it comes to engineering construction, the sooner we get out of the ground, the better. Because, when we're in the ground, we don't know what's there. We found other stuff that, we work our way around, but the sooner we get out of the ground, the better. So now, the only thing left we got in the ground is just the connection, the piping from the well to the tower. Yeah. That's good news. It's really good news, really. And then Division C, the water main improvements. Actually, I have more good news here. We actually received plan approval on a construction permit yesterday.
Just got it.
So, yeah. So the next step is we're working with the IEPA to get their commitment on the funding and the percent forgiveness. Okay. I think we know what it's going to be, but I want to see it right. That same 8% we had last year we talked about. That's what we're leaning towards. So, so we don't have anything confirming that yet, but that's a big deal. It's a big deal for you. Okay. And then the Osler grant. Have you guys seen anything from IDNR on the Osler grant yet?
Not yet. I'm not sure why. We were just, someone just said we need to check the spam, make sure it's not in the spam, because we've been waiting.
Okay. Okay. That's all good. That's all I knew.
Okay, thank you.
Here's a copy of the report you can circulate.
Okay.
And I'll get you
Okay.
I'll get you the drafted report.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very
Any
much.
questions?
Nope.
No? Okay, very good. Thanks, folks.
Great, thank you. Michael Woodbury, Public Works.
I got a request for the new owners of the old weight scale house. They're tearing it down, and they're in the process of getting all the stuff done. And I'm waiting to hear back from them, but I want the, electric and gas removed first before we have to. There is no, I can't find the shut off to that building, so it's gonna have to be dug up at the main and disconnected from the main.
Well, I know we were talking about the same thing. I had it under yours.
So I'm waiting to hear back from them. When I do, it's,
And you're also in touch with them.
Yeah, so we can talk about when I get down to the meter, or I can do it now.
Do it now.
So, since we're talking about it, the electric's been taken off the building already. They're waiting on night court to come pick up the gas main, cap it off. They have donated the building to the fire department to use for training, exercise for the month of March. So Monday nights and Saturdays from 8 to noon, we'll be conducting live fire trainings there. And eventually the building will be taken down at the end of March. So, but I haven't had I'm waiting for a meeting with them also, but they're waiting for you to get done with disconnecting the water and night court to get done first, so.
I'd rather you guys be done with your.
Okay, that's fine, whatever you want.
Yeah, that,
I
taking
can talk
it
to
off the
Boehne.
main is something that needs to be done, like the last thing.
Okay, I can talk to Boehne, let them know that.
Because it's gonna be all dug up in one big mess, and
Yep.
you don't need any more mud to trap.
Yeah, we didn't want any water issues inside, during training, so we'll be breaking walls and, stuff like that. We didn't know if there was any water through that building right now. They weren't sure either, so that's why they wanted it shut off before we got in there.
I'll see if I can find that shut off. I believe, but when it was put in, there was no.
Shut off.
No.
So just so everybody in the community is aware, there will be a large fire presence on Monday nights, starting 6:30, and then on weekends from 8 to noon on Saturdays.
So it's more than one fire.
Yeah, we're gonna have a couple other area departments come out and train too, but, yeah, you'll see smoke, there'll be multiple fire departments.
So don't dial 911.
Correct.
Yeah.
Unless we're not there anymore. Yeah, I'll put it out, as a reminder once it gets closer, but our plan is to start the second week of March, and the first week's our business meeting, so. That's kind of the game plan, that's kind of Boehne's game plan, to have it done by the end of March, so. They want to take it down, they're concerned, with neighborhood kids and stuff, so, and insurance purposes.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all I have.
That's it, okay. And, Dawn Woodbury.
Did you bring copies of the not of interest?
Oh, dang it, I didn't grab them.
It's that time of year we need to fill out the statement.
I'm sorry.
The trust again, I think it's due May 1st. Stacey.
I didn't get
No, they were gonna mail
We're
them
gonna
out.
run
They
it.
haven't, we don't have them yet.
Margie grabbed a bunch of them when she was there.
Yeah.
She was gonna bring it tonight.
I forgot, I'm sorry, got.
We don't have
right on top of
Yeah,
my
we don't.
files.
You do. Everyone here has.
We'll do it again next year too.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you get a paycheck.
No, we're leaving in 2 months.
You still.
Well, we
no,
gotta
you still
do
have
that
to
to
do
do
it.
it.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
You'll have to do
Even
another,
if you work one
I didn't
day.
get anything, that's why.
you'll have to do another one next year.
Yeah. They're not due till May 1st, so you can bring them in March.
Okay.
To them.
Or I'll get them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what, when I drop off my water bill, I'll put it in the box and then she can pick it up. I'll drop it off.
Oh.
They're gonna mail them to us too, so.
No, she said they might not mail because I can't find them.
Yeah, they're sending email.
Oh, did you get one?
I get one.
Well, anyway, I'm
Okay.
gonna mail my water bill probably tomorrow or the next day anyway, I'll just throw it in the
Okay,
box.
nice, okay. Mike can even grab it in there too. That's all I have.
All right. Katie. Is Katie here?
Yeah.
I'm back here somewhere. I got a couple updates. Well, the bills are due on the 23rd of this month. But then the bill that goes out 3/23 will include the 2% increase because of January 1st through March 1st water. So the rates will go up from, right now they're 27.03. They'll be 27.57 for in town. And then out of town, right now it's $54.06. It's going up to $55.14, just so everybody knows. I also received the loan payoff documents, so we have no more monthly interest payments to
Yay.
Resource Bank. That's taken care of. I sent the invoice to BNF that she requested last month, so we should be getting that hopefully soon. And then I got an update regarding the Connex box. It will be gone before, or hopefully by the end of March, I believe. March 31st. Even sooner if the weather's nice. They were gonna do it this weekend, but the snow that's coming stopped that plan, so it will be gone.
We're talking about the one in Leicester.
Yeah. Yes, yes, that house sold. So,
Wow.
Okay. Anything else?
no, that's it.
Okay, our village attorney, Andrew Wilt, and at this point, should we work on, should we first do the recommendation to the board and have the board do the vote for the changes to make it zoning change? Or do you want, I'll let you conduct that and then.
Oh, I will conduct it.
Well, you can tell me when you're ready.
Okay. So I got a couple things. First, I'll address the OMA. I was made aware of this probably Monday. I have reviewed it. Basically, you guys all have a copy of it. The crux of it is back in November, everybody went into executive closed session. The rationale stated was possible pending litigation. That was appealed. They reached out to my office, Attorney Kroll, directly about that. Based upon the explanations provided, the Office of the Attorney General said that they don't believe the going into the closed session was proper. Specifically, we did, although it was stated we were going in for potential pending litigation, there were not statements made during the closed executive session or in the open session to say why we believed there was pending litigation or going to be litigation, other than that Mr. Roble indicated that he would be having his attorney contact us. So the Attorney General's office is asking, in order to remedy this violation, that the board ultimately make a vote to make available portions of that closed session that directly related to Mr. Roble, am I pronouncing that correctly? And his water bill. So what we would do is either we'll have to get a transcript from the meeting, and there'll have to be a determination, because they're not opening up the entire closed session, just the part as it relates to his water bill. So we can make the recording, if it's one continuous thing, available. Otherwise, we'll have to have a transcript made once it's determined what part of that closed session regarded that situation, and we'll make that available to the public as a whole, and then also send a copy to Mr. Roble, whether it be here or down in Tennessee, so he knows exactly what was discussed. So for you, I would just ask, leave an address on file for us somewhere, so when
Yeah, I mean, the school's not going anywhere, so the address is fine, their email, whatever. I mean, my phone numbers, everything's gonna stay the same. So with regards to email address, phone number, or the address here, it will all stay the same.
Okay.
So that's perfect.
So we'll have to do a vote on that. We can vote tonight to do that, but obviously it's not gonna be an immediate turnaround. There has to be a determination of what gets sent out.
Can we vote because it's not on the agenda, or do we have to wait until to get it on the agenda?
There are exceptions of when you can do things not on the agenda, I would say either vote on it tonight or docket it, put it on the agenda for next month, and prior to next month, all of the behind the scenes work to get the transcript ready made should be done by that next meeting. So at the next meeting, when we vote, assuming there's a vote to release it and follow the Attorney General's recommendation, we can then release it at that meeting.
Yeah, waiting until the next meeting and then getting it all correct.
Yeah, we don't need a vote to actually do that. I mean,
I wasn't
cut it up and everything.
I wasn't at the November meeting, so I would need to see the transcript. I have no clue what.
Well, everybody's gonna have to see it.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Right.
Okay, so we're just gonna, for now, we're
Or
just
you
gonna
can
go
cut that out for us or whatever by the next meeting.
Yeah, and then, like I said, my recommendation is that by the next meeting, everything's ready to go. So like I said, assuming you vote on it, assuming you vote to follow the Attorney General's recommendation, it's available. You say, okay, here's a copy of it right there.
Who does the transcript then?
Yeah, I would think it would be the clerk.
Transcript of the whole recording. Of the recording itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like I said, but the whole executive session is not going to be. I don't have an independent recollection of if there was anything else discussed in that one or not, but
Very little.
yeah. So we'll have to see what was discussed, and everything related to the water issue is really done.
All right.
So that's the first thing. Second thing is I distributed to everybody what I will call a rough draft of the chicken ordinance. I took the examples you guys provided me as well as some discussions that were had last month about it and drafted, like I said, a rough draft. You'll go through there, you'll see that there are X's and things like that. That's because there was no consensus on, off the top of my head, things like, did we want it 5 feet from the property line, 10 feet from the property line? There was discussion about oddly shaped lots within town, so I added specific language for that. So my request is going to be, everybody look at that, send me any changes you want made, and then by the time we show up here next month, I will have taken all those changes, incorporated them into what I already have, and we can kind of go from
Do you have
there.
a date of when you want that from us, and then can we have it ahead of time instead of handing it to us at the meeting?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
I was told to have this done today, so I got it done today. So earlier the better, but I mean, as long as you get it to me by a day before, I'll get it done and sent out. But I would prefer sooner than that.
I would rather us do it in 2 weeks and then give you like a week to then, like, I don't wanna make it, I wanna read it and not have to make it in 5 minutes,
Yeah,
like.
totally fine. And then you can read it and
I'm not a fan of getting stuff like right before the meeting going, oh, here you go.
make sense of it. Yeah, just give me what specifically you want in there. Like I said, this is just one I kind of threw together based upon discussions that were had at the time. So, I think that's it for me.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we also have a letter in here from the DeKalb County Planning Commission. The dues are due this month. Or next 30 days.
We're looking for some pay.
Second. All in favor?
No.
Or roll call, I'm sorry, roll call.
Yes. Jessica? Yes. Stacey?
Yes.
Margie?
Yes.
Josh?
Yeah.
Okay, motion carried. Okay. Zoning committee report recommendation and discussion. Well, we kind of did the discussions. Do we want to discuss any more, or do we want to just go ahead and
Most of discuss.
on the, we would have to, I believe we'd have to vote on that recommendation that we made that would be, we would make it mixed use. So the wording, how do you want us to word that?
It doesn't say that can we vote on that?
Doesn't say.
Yeah, it doesn't have on here, do we have to wait to vote for another month until we go? I think we,
The subjects on there, you don't have to wait to vote.
Yeah, it says zoning committee report recommendation / discussion. I'm reading that as if the zoning committee made a recommendation, you can address it, otherwise
all right.
discussion.
Alright.
So the zoning committee made a recommendation, so you guys just have to vote on whether or not to adopt the recommendation of the zoning committee.
Because we'll have to have the comprehensive, do I need a vote then, another vote to have the comprehensive plan changed? We'll have to do that, because we have to do we'll have to do the comprehensive plan after redone.
Got a Sharpie?
Is that correct?
There you go.
I don't know that you can do that, because I think that that's too far afield of what's on the.
Okay, but once we change that, the zoning, we have to change this because the map is.
Why did we leave off the voting part on the agenda? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because it was a recommendation and discussion.
But we all knew it was gonna be voted on, it's now.
No, we didn't. I didn't think we were gonna vote tonight on it.
Because that's why I gave you guys all the stuff to study, I wasn't sure.
You gave it to us right before the meeting.
Yeah, because I thought it would take another month. Usually a zoning change takes 3 months.
It didn't take us the variance that we did for the comments box, we did that.
That's different. That's a whole different ball of wax than a zoning change. Zoning change is a big deal. So if you guys want, we'll get it on, we'll put it first on the agenda. Gene, don't use your phone.
I'm not using my phone for anything.
Okay, because otherwise it's subject to FOIA.
Okay, school's called off tomorrow, that's what my phone says.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
There's snow coming, there's snow coming.
No school tomorrow.
Snow.
Look at Mike. Mike's like,
Mike's like, I didn't get that word.
you're welcome.
So can we vote on that?
You can vote to accept or not accept the recommendation of the zone.
Okay, I need a
Motion, what he said.
second.
I second it.
All right, so we're,
Who did it first? Let me get.
I so did, so I was the first.
You so moved.
all right, who was
He
the
said.
second?
We need work for.
Roll call, please.
Jessica?
Yes.
Josh?
Still gonna say no, I want the other one.
Stacey?
You're gonna abstain again? Did you abstain?
No,
Oh, no.
not my understanding. Let me think about it. Tell me back what you said, that I said, so moved.
Okay, it would be that we took the recommendation, hold on one second, let me find it again. Zoning report recommendation that we've accepted it after our discussion. And you said.
And I said no when we did the thing, so I think I have to say no.
They don't have to.
Well,
I can't find.
Well, then where does this lie as far as
Yeah.
Did we have to do another meeting beforehand, or if we switch it, because I really
No,
want
we
to
need another
investigate. Josh got me thinking about the residential and to confirm with the loans. That's what's bothering me.
But
So
let me just tell you something.
That's surgery.
what you can do is you don't have to vote on it this month. What happened is the zone, and again, gets a little convoluted because you're all the same people. But the zoning committee made a recommendation to the board. You guys can accept that this month, or you can say, let's wait until next month to accept, reject, whatever it is that you're going to do on it. So you don't have to vote on it this month. But if you vote on it this month and, for example, you vote on it and it doesn't pass, then the request for the zoning variance just doesn't pass. It's not that you're not voting.
I just want to know if we
So
find out that
if you're voting no, she doesn't get squat right now until we get something to pass.
all right.
It stays as is until you guys make a decision. Until we get a yes vote, and I'm not pressuring you.
No,
If
I
you wanna say
I
no,
get
you
it,
gotta
I get it, I just don't want, I'm all for her getting what she wants. I just want to make sure this is.
But see, this is the best of both worlds. It's a
That's
mixed
how I
use.
All right, let's say
Yeah.
yes.
It passes, yep.
Because I don't want.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I know, I'm complete, I just want to make sure.
Courtney, I think a good thing just happened.
Well, Jessica, go look at that one.
What, then what, I will read on.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm doing.
okay. Stacey, you wanted to talk about the replacement.
Not anything against you, oh my God, nothing about it, like, yes, this is, I have always voiced that I'm proactive and I want to be transparent, and I know we've had quite a few attorney changes in the past, few years, and I'm thinking ahead early. I know that I've learned that the contracts are renewed every mayor term, and took it upon myself to find out what other villages use, who recommends what firm, who's been to leave before, what are our needs. I looked at, we have this, the water project that's going on. We've got a lot going on with that, the contracts. We've got the solar going on, and I wanted to see what other firms were out there, and highly recommended came Dominic, and I invited him to the meeting to speak, to just let the community know, because I want the community to feel involved and understand why there might be an attorney change to prevent any gossip or misleading. And if people have, and I would like to allow, since we have quite a few of the candidates, if I've already sent an email to the board, and who Dominic is, that I'm interested in. I went to the Rochelle meeting. He's like, come see me, come see how our board, they went through 15 agenda items with everybody discussing it in an hour. I was completely impressed.
What time was that?
Rochelle. And then there was just a lot of things. They had things running smooth, like really smoothly. Like there was an order like I'd never seen before, but it was effective. Like Shabana, everybody else could do well with. So I'm going to let Dominic introduce himself, and I would like to allow, with permission, any of the candidates, like, because I know Garrett's here, Mitch is here, Steve's here, Amber's here, if they had any questions, because they're going to be in a new board. Dawn Kimflin, when we were about to become board members, and we last minute learned we had like 2 weeks to find an attorney, she outreached Terry, she outreached me, she outreached Margie ahead of time. I just thought, let's get the ball rolling now. This is a candidate I like. I did outreach a couple other ones, but Dominic, let's just speak. Are you?
No, I said I'm trying to anyway.
Good evening, everyone.
Safe travels.
My name is Dominic Zito. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I've worked actually with Russ on a lot of matters. I've been the corporate counsel of the city of Rochelle since 2017 when Alan Cooper retired. I've been involved with them since 2012 when they had death in custody. I am a panel counsel for the Illinois Municipal League. So we are a group of attorneys that are selected by the Illinois Municipal League to defend municipalities across the state. I've represented everyone from all the way down to Champaign, Urbana, Rantoul, all the way up to South Beloit, all the way west to East Moline, Hampton, and all the way to the Indiana border. I've been a state's attorney. I am a special state's attorney still, which means I am in private practice. Yet state's attorneys appoint me to represent municipalities and governmental entities in various civil rights and other lawsuits. As Stacey said, as the general counsel for Rochelle, I'm very familiar with building out our third well now. We've expanded. I handle the enterprise zone for the city of Rochelle. I also lobby for them down in Springfield, so I'm familiar with the solar fields and keeping them within out of enterprise zones, just because those are specially designated areas. So we're able to secure that legislation. I'm very familiar with in this particular area. Your wells are maybe have radium. It's a naturally occurring phenomenon in the particular aquifers you have, as well as iron ferrite. I've been involved with that and landing from there and dealing with that. I interact with the Wilt-Village Fire Protection District for the city of Rochelle, their new training facility. I secured the land and then obtained, you know, the ongoing plans. It's also going to be part of the Rochelle Municipal Utilities, RMU. So it's going to be an electrical training facility. So my experience, I represent not only Rochelle, I represent Lakemore, Addison, Roselle. I'm a hearing officer, all the way down to Calumet City, doing all their economic development. Every enterprise in the city of Rochelle, I've represented Tinley Park, Oak Lawn, and their water expansion project, which was $190 to $250 million, expanding all the water mains all the way up to the southern suburbs. So that's just a little bit about who I am and what I've done for not only Rochelle but other communities, but they're in close proximity. And I've represented them in Lee County, I've represented them in Ogle County, and eminent domain all the way through, you know, employment cases and death in custody. So I do the corporate side as well as the litigation side. And we do all of the resolutions, ordinances, city code. We've had a major revamp. God, it's got to be 5 years ago now, where we redid everything in the municipal zoning code to make it a little bit more user friendly, or as much as zoning codes can be user friendly. So
You have quite a resume. What do you charge per meeting for small municipalities?
well, so that's where you might think of a little high price, but I already said I'd honor the same rates I charge Rochelle, that's $210 an hour for their general fund. If there's special projects, I do TIF work. I don't think we have any TIFs. I've done bond work.
He wants us.
So I've done TIF work. I've been issuers counsel on their bond issuances. I dealt with the IPA loans. So if there's a development that comes in, typically the developer will pay the attorney's fees, and then my rates, I believe, are $260 this year and $275 next year per hour, but that's also paid by the developer.
So for a meeting, it's $210 an hour.
Yes.
And we're
Or no,
paying
or no.
$2 now?
What, I can tell you that the mayor of Rochelle said that he pays for himself. With the way that you hone in on the contracts and make sure that we're not being extra billed and making sure so that people pay.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get your per acre fee, so, but that's yet to go up. And as I explained, as part of the IML, there's another risk pool, it's called the ICMRT. I represented one of the superintendents out west who's now, so if you wanna know what I'm like, to be a litigator on your behalf. I've represented the school district superintendent. So. And I know, like I said, came on during COVID, so it was kind of a polarizing time to be a superintendent in a school district, but.
You can handle angry residents? There's a few of them in this town.
There's a few in every town, and you just have to talk with them and explain what's going on. So I find that angry residents aren't angry very long, as long as, common courtesy and respect and explain what's going on. I think, at least that's my practice. I treat them with respect, and in turn, I usually get the same.
Bottom line is, it's up to Steve.
Yeah, it is up to Steve.
Well, it will be up to Steve when the election's over.
Right, it would be advice and be pointing with the advice that comes out of the village board. I haven't looked at your code, but typically that's
right.
Most other district municipalities.
What was that, Steve?
I said it would be actually up to the board, but now my recommendation, I've already talked to John Berg. I've known John for many years, and I've talked to him extensively over this firm, and he highly recommends them. And just like Stacey said, he saves them a lot of money.
Do any of the candidates, Mitch
I would trust.
or Amber, have any questions? Garrett?
Your answer to the angry residents.
And he's used to being filmed because I didn't know Rochelle filmed.
We're Facebook Live and everyone, and I've had others film me too, so
Yes.
it's part of the job.
And I guess, when are you resigning then, effective
Well,
when the?
yeah, what I initially said was I was not going to seek reappointment when the new president took over.
Right.
But I think I also said that, you know, if you guys wanted to, if you found a suitable replacement and you wanted to get them in to get the, you know, seamless transition, I'm okay with that too. Yeah. But I was not gonna be seeking to be the attorney with the new board. But again, if you wanna have an attorney in now that you think the new board's gonna accept, I'm totally okay with that. I did look at our contract. You guys can't do that.
I would like you to finish what we've started.
I would also.
We have stuff going that he needs to finish.
I know, but we have other stuff gonna be going on too with the OSLAD contract and.
Then he starts.
I didn't know it was an option. I honestly, I didn't know it was.
That he can start on, he can hit the door running. But he's got stuff that we need him to finish. Nothing against you.
No, I understand. I wouldn't want to put him in that position because I've been in the same position. I've worked well with this firm, with Dave and Russ, for a number of years, even before Rochelle, that was around since 2012, so that's completely fine. I mean, I would probably do a little homework anyway if there's upcoming stuff, and once appointed, then I would be able to be prepared that we transition memos anyway between attorneys.
I have no idea how that process goes, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
So I mean, check it into the box.
It could be as
I
soon
got
as
lots.
May 1st, or, yeah, the first, not May 1st, but
When
the
there's
first
more
meeting.
than
It'd be the second Tuesday.
Right, that day is May 1st, well, May, whatever.
But I would still,
Second Monday.
if there were hot button issues, I would still probably look at stuff ahead of time. Even if they won't get a bill report, but.
And you'll let us know, like, hey, maybe give it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I can leave, I have some cards.
And I appreciate it, thank you. But if someone else has a candidate in mind, they can come to me too if they want, or.
That's why I just took it upon myself, so we're not scrambling last minute, like. Mhm. And ask around.
Okay.
I don't work, I can just give them to the clerk and then you can circulate mine. So I have more if anyone wants them, but if you just call my direct dial number, it goes to my cell phone.
Hang on a second.
Please,
Thank you.
yeah. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm taking a picture of our.
Wait, do you want?
Go
Yeah.
What? I'm sure you probably do. There you go.
Discuss the IML ruling regarding trustee, OJ and Jackson municipality. I did go ahead because I was voided numerous times, or at least one time. And, I didn't have the information, but I FOIA'd Margie asking her exactly what, the state's attorney Rick Amato said, and I did get an answer back if anyone wants a copy of her FOIA response. I also have, Georgette Young sent out something, and she did answer the question that I've been asking all along. She had said that, Rick Amato, hold on, let me find that sentence. Rick directed Margie to this matter to be resolved through the Village of Lee attorney. At no time did he say book a personal appointment, but there's something new that has resulted from that, and Andrew Wolf has offered to pick up the amount of money that we're disputing, so Margie's off the hook with that.
As I'm trying to reflections.
So, okay, moving on. Adopt the 2025 building codes. Did you guys look at your building codes so you can vote on that?
They're mandatory, so.
Yeah, they are mandatory. So Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to adopt them.
Second.
Okay. Roll call.
Dawn? None here. Jean? Are you sure it's?
What do you mean mandatory? Because I think the reason we had the 2008,
Yeah, they are
no, we had the 2018 is because if we went any higher, you had to have fire suppression in apartment buildings. That's why we stuck to that level.
The last time, I believe, when was the last time that you guys reviewed?
Well, you're
I think
gonna have to
2009.
retrofit all these apartment buildings to.
Josh, there's a state law now
Yeah.
that they have to be up to a certain date. And past January 1st.
We're behind.
Where's that thing I handed out last month?
They have it out there.
I went here.
It's if you have not readopted any building codes since 2015, it's a mandatory that we have to
I
go
might
back
have
to 225. Is that correct?
I don't think it's a matter of just voting them in.
Well, do we vote them in? Because if we don't, we aren't even aware that we have them. I mean, we have to have the code.
You need to have
The code
the
put
code
into our code.
adopted.
Yeah.
But I don't
We
think,
talked about it last month and everyone was gonna go home and read it.
I don't think it's as simple as just saying we're adopting the codes and roll call and that's it. I don't think it's that simple.
In our attorney.
Because I'm not sure why other municipalities are spending thousands of dollars to update their codes if it's as simple as just saying yay or nay.
Well, so you have these codes that are state guidelines. And other municipalities have individualized building codes. They can be more restrictive than what the state guidelines are, but they can't be less restrictive. So I think the discussion last month was, as like one of the reasons of a cost saving matter is you adopt these codes, and then if there are specific changes you want made, you can adopt individual things rather than going through and drafting your own building code using those as the guideline. But again, that's up to the board.
What was that, Josh?
Still, it makes no sense.
You're the lawyer, you know best.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because I know we have to have them done. Now, if that's how you guys.
It's sitting in the table at home.
Huh? You're.
Is it, yeah, I've got everything else but that file.
Oh, okay. So do we want to get a motion? You guys are ready to,
Go ahead.
all right,
We
can we get a motion to adopt the
Why don't we
2020?
make the motion since we.
It's to adopt.
I'll make the motion.
To adopt the building code for 2020, the Illinois 2000 International, whatever.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
All right. Please, do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second it.
All right. Roll call, please.
Jean? No. Josh?
No.
Marty?
No.
Stacey?
No.
Jessica?
No.
Okay, does that put us in non-compliance?
Not right now.
Okay, when are we non-compliant?
I would have to look at it. I want to say June 1st, but I'm just,
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't remember that. Don't quote me on that date.
All right.
It was supposed to be January 1st.
It was January 1st, but I think there's probably a grace period or something.
I don't think it was a 6-month grace period, but.
I'll double check that, but like I said, I don't recall the top of my
Okay,
head.
bring it up
because
next month.
otherwise we're gonna have to spend an awful lot of money writing our own code. Okay, moving on. Review and correction approval of the minutes of the preceding meeting.
Don't ask me because I wasn't there, I didn't do it. Very much responsibility.
Motion? I make a motion to pass the board meeting minutes from January 14th, 2025.
Second, please.
Second.
Roll call.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, treasurer's report. Treasurer's report.
It's in the state.
Can I have a motion for the to approve the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
All in favor, or roll call.
Josh?
Yes.
Jean? Yeah. Jessica?
Yes.
Stacey?
Yes.
Margie?
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Approval of the bills, discussion, approval of the February 2025 bills. May I have a motion? You have a chance to look.
Hang on.
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second, please. Roll call, please.
Margie?
Yeah.
Stacey?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Jean? Yes. Josh?
Motion passed. Committee reports, streets and alleys.
We just received the, finally from Matt Wagner, and I gave it to Katie, it was the road repair he did. And then, thank you, Mike, for finally getting out there and icing and making sure the fire department was taken care of.
Pass it on.
Yep, thank you.
Did he finish the job? Because you had said something about.
Those 2 spots is taking it off the bill.
He took it off.
Yeah,
What did we end up with the final bill?
you know what, I didn't open, he sealed it, so.
It's only a couple $100.
Yeah, it wasn't
Like
really
$4.
much, like one spot was $7, you know.
I think it was, okay.
It wasn't much.
The one next to my driveway on my neighbor's side, it's like
And then
$7.
over by.
Anything else for streets and alleys? Okay. Water and refuse. Water,
Nothing new.
nothing else.
We're just on my routine every year.
All right. And finance and ordinances, Jean?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. Then we'll move on to closed session. We're gonna ask everyone to take your equipment away. I'd like to. And the purpose of the closed session is for code enforcement.
I second.